Good morning, everybody. It's Marty the JavaScript Party. No Rhett this morning because our dogs are here. It is Thursday, January 8th, and it is 8:47. So that means I don't have very much time before I have to start work at 9 o'clock. But here we are. So I'm working on a bug, and the bug is that I create, oops, it's not letting me make this the right size. The bug is that I create an extra npm start, an extra animation every time one of my visualization, every time I change views on a visualization, I create an animation. So I worked on it for just a couple minutes yesterday, and I was a little bit worried that that I'd sort of painted myself in the corner. I remember doing this very, very early on, getting this animation going, um, just to kind of carve out some space for the animation stuff to be. But the problem is that for some strange reason, I call this animate mesh in times when I shouldn't be calling it. I think we can establish that the animate mesh should get called. It looks like the only thing this does is add animations. It doesn't have any other side effect or anything like that. It literally just determines what the mesh is, sort of has some, I don't know, some interesting little logic so that it can figure out what kind of mesh animation it wants to add, and then it adds it. And that's it. So I don't think we have any fears that not calling this someplace might have some sort of really crazy unintended side effect, because this is like all this does is get something. Now it's possible that this get seen by ID has some sort of side effect, but I have faith in myself that if I call it something get seen by ID, I probably would not add some weird side effect code in there. Um, if you do have something that is a get and it does something, uh, you really need to think. Sometimes you do want, like maybe you have some sort of logging or something that you want to set up or something like that. But for the most part, you don't really want anything that has the word get in it to be doing anything other than just getting something. And then the only actual action is we get our mesh, we check to see if this, we call add animation, and we pass that for a specific mesh. So basically we loop through all the meshes, which there's only one. So we have our mesh ID, and then I go to the mesh service and I say, hey, get me my mesh by ID. And I like how I did this because one of the major benefits to this would be that if two different visualizations had a mesh, um, this mesh, they would, both visualizations would get this animation. So that's good. But anyways, just to show the bug, basically what happens is you come in here, look at this, you look at your object, and we have our animation. But then I change views, so literally all I do is change views. So when you change the view, it literally brings a whole different view up, so it destroys the old one and creates a new visualization. Um, and as part of that destruction recreation process, for some reason it appears that my guess at this point is that we ended up creating a second mesh. And so then, and then in our mesh itself, we have our dog. This dog, that my son's dog, her name is Pebbles, and she's a Staffordshire Terrier, and every single day when she comes over here, she gets her harness stuck on the bed that's next to me. There's a little twin bed next to me that my German Shepherd mostly sleeps on, and she literally gets herself stuck on that every single day, and then undoes, and then just works on it for. It used to take her like 45 minutes. Now it only takes her a couple minutes. All right, so it's 8:52. So what we're trying to figure out is why this got called here. And so in order to do that, we have to sort of work our way backwards. And I was thinking today, like, I don't know why I know that like this, I need to be fairly careful when I'm coding. But like, let's say we were to add a new animation type, like let's say we added a type like initial, like it was created initially or something like that, or default or something like that, a flag, I know that I would just literally add it to the interface. And then since all our animations are default animations at this point, we didn't actively add them, and just set true everywhere where one of these gets created, and we'd be done. And I wouldn't even think twice about it. But this, I'm like, oh crap, okay, we really need to understand this, because like fixing the bug isn't enough. We need to make sure we fix this bug in a way that makes sense. So it looks like last time I was looking for that, and I know I do need to add the dot here. So in our animation service, we call the animate this. So, and we pass in the modulus. So it's interesting that I decided to pass in the modulus there. I think I just wanted to pass in something for it to work on, and we'll probably pass something different. But let's say console, and then I'm trying to get like, I don't know where I'm headed with this, but I'm gonna hit Windows and period, and I want to put a different emoji. So let's just go with this collision emoji, and then animate visualization. And we'll hit save, and then we'll hit F12. So at work right now, I'm in like, this is like when I used to work at CNN, the day before the election was like a huge day. And then when I worked at, I'm trying to think, there was different places where I worked where there's like these really, really big days. Our big day is on Monday because that's when our session starts. And so, things are a bit intense at work right now. So we have exactly what we expect. We have our little animation visualization and animate add visualization. And now we're going to change views. And so this guy got called, and we probably should not have been called, since that animation already existed. And maybe that's the thing I need to be able to check. I don't know. We'll see. So let's find where we call animate visualization, because it looks like we only call animate mesh from one place. So at some point we're going to hit something where it probably gets called from multiple places. But okay, here's in our animation service, we have animate visualizations. So, and I've never really thought about it, but I feel like this is a good time to like kind of think about the architecture. Oh, okay, so it's in the same. So this is our animate visualization. This is our animate visualizations. So let's say Windows dot. I wonder if there's like a question mark. Q. um, Here, we'll do this monkey thing. I hope that doesn't mean anything to anybody. Um, Animate visualizations. So now we'll see. F12. Okay, so that's interesting. So this animate visualizations got called 4 times before we even had anything, which is weird. That is very, very interesting. So then and I'm curious what happens. Okay, so let's just clear this and change views. So that was wild. So animate visualizations got called twice. It went all the way through, and it only called it. So basically, it looks like, let's see, what matters. Let's see what the ST renderers looks like. So it's supposed to get a collection of renderers. I'm just curious what in the world we're looking at here. Okay, so it gets called with no renders, gets called with no renders. We add something. And it was weird because when we're in that other view, it got called 4 times. So this time it got called with a renderer. And now let's change views. And see, it got called once without a renderer and once with the renderers. And let's just change view again. So again, it got called with the this time it got called first with the renderers and then this time without the renderers. And it got called twice again. The order changes, but the it does consistently get called twice, once with an empty one. So I'm pretty sure this empty one shouldn't be happening. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I don't think we should ever even get here. Hit refresh. Like we should, I don't think we should be getting there. If there's, first of all, whoever calls this shouldn't call this if there's no renderers, I don't think. Let's reload. Curious. App custom layout component, anonymous, untracked chunk, effect. So it looks like some sort of effect is causing it. I don't know, I'm new to effects. So I don't know. I just want to do one last search, but I'm not even going to do any code. Wherever it calls this, I feel like if there are no animation, if there are no renderers, we should probably add a little bit of logic there that says, don't be calling me if. Okay, so this gets called straight animation service from the app custom layout component. Ah, so the effect is it's probably yeah inside the effect, and this effect is getting called. So basically, if st renders is empty, we probably shouldn't even do this. And who knows, that might solve the problem, it might not. But we would have to do this in 2 places because it's happening in 2 effects. Now so basically, at the very least, the empty calls are um, are noise. And oh, that's right, because it's using this render, so it doesn't have anything. So then it's calling this. Which really, like, if it does, maybe that is how we do it. Is in the effect, um, it shouldn't even call anything if it doesn't have any renders. Doesn't seem like, but maybe that's not right. Anyways, happy coding, everybody. It's 9 a.m., so I gotta start work. Bye. Have a wonderful day.